Namibia, Africa's best-kept secret. Imagine an African country where you can literally sleep under the stars, in the middle of nowhere, without any fear, where wild animals walk free right next to humans, where local tribes not only welcome you into their villages, but invite you to sleep in their huts, share their meals, and live like one of them. Sounds impossible, right? Yet this place exists. It is called Namibia, and it is probably the most underrated country in the entire African continent. What you are about to discover will completely change your idea of Africa, the empty giant that hides wonders. Namibia is located on the southwest coast of Africa, squeezed between the Atlantic Ocean to the west and the Kalahari Desert to the east. It borders Angola to the north, Zambia to the northeast, Botswana to the east, and South Africa to the south. At 800,000 square kilometers, it is nearly 3 times the size of Texas, yet has only 2.5 million inhabitants. To give you an idea, it is one of the least densely populated countries in the world. There are literally hundreds of miles where you won't meet a soul. Just sand, rocks, endless skies, and a silence that fills your soul. But this vast emptiness is exactly what makes Namibia so special. Here, nature reigns supreme in a way you will hardly find elsewhere in Africa, where the desert meets the ocean. The Namibian coast is home to one of the most surreal phenomena on the planet. The Namib Desert, the oldest in the world at 80 million years old, literally plunges into the Atlantic Ocean. At Sandwich Harbor, you can see 300-meter-high sand dunes ending right in the sea, with the waves lapping at them. Such an alien landscape, it looks photoshopped. But the real show is at Sossusvlei, home to the world's tallest dunes. These dunes reach 400 meters in height, with such an intense red-orange color that they look painted. At sunrise, when the low light creates incredible contrasts between light and shadow, these dunes become living works of art. And then there is Deadfly, a white, salty pan where dead trees stand, black skeletons against the white sand and the red dunes in the background. This spot is so photogenic it has become one of Africa's most photographed locations. Yet seeing those twisted trunks defying time in person will literally leave you speechless. The Skeleton Coast and its mysteries. If Sossusvlei is beautiful, the Skeleton Coast is both unsettling and mesmerizing. This 300-mile-long strip of coast was named for the numerous shipwrecks lying on the beach, rusty and half-buried by the sand. The combination of dangerous ocean currents, thick fog banks, and stormy seas has made the stretch deadly for sailors for centuries. Walking among these phantom wrecks, with the wind howling and the fog rising from the ocean, is a chilling experience. But the coast also hides a surprise. Thousands of seals living in huge, noisy, and foul-smelling colonies. And where there are seals, there are also their predators. Desert jackals that have learned to hunt on the beach, and occasionally gigantic sea lions weighing a ton that defend their territory with impressive ferocity. The people who sleep with strangers. And here we come to the part that made you click on this video. In Namibia, there are tribes, particularly the Himba in the north of the country, who practice a form of hospitality that is almost incomprehensible to us Westerners. When a visitor arrives in a Himba village, they are welcomed as a member of the community. It is not uncommon for families to literally offer their homes, their huts, for guests to sleep in. They sleep with them, eat with them, and share everything. But there is more. In some tribes, there is an ancient tradition called okujepisa amukazendu, which literally means to offer one's wife to a guest. Before you jump to the wrong conclusions, let me explain. It's not what you think. This practice has deep cultural roots linked to the idea of supreme hospitality and the belief that denying a guest something brings bad luck. In some nomadic communities where men would leave for months for transhumance, this practice also served to ensure women were not left alone and vulnerable. Today, this tradition is rapidly disappearing, replaced by more modern yet still incredibly generous forms of hospitality. The Himba remain one of the last semi-nomadic tribes in Africa, and their women are recognizable by their red ochre-colored skin, achieved by smearing a paste made of ochre, butter, and aromatic herbs that protects them from the fierce desert sun. The wildlife paradise. If you think Namibia is just desert, you are dead wrong. Etosha National Park is one of the best places in Africa to see wild animals. And I say that having visited the continent's most famous parks. The difference? In Etosha, the animals come to you. The park is organized around a giant salt pan, and waterholes scattered along its edges attract thousands of animals. You can sit in your car or at the equipped camps and watch elephants, rhinos, lions, cheetahs, giraffes, zebras, and antelopes of all kinds parade by. At night, the illuminated waterholes become natural theaters where dramas of life and death unfold. I saw a lion take down a zebra 20 yards from where I was sitting. Nature here doesn't hide. It shows itself in all its brutality and beauty. Africa's safest and most stable country. But what really makes Namibia special is not just the landscapes or the animals. It is the fact that this is probably the safest, most stable, and best managed country in sub-Saharan Africa. Since 1990, when it gained independence from South Africa, Namibia has built a functioning democracy, a growing economy, and a respected judicial system. Corruption exists but is relatively low by African standards. Infrastructure works. Roads are good. Crime is contained. You can travel alone, even as a solo female traveler, without particular worries. This is not a given in Africa. The country has become a model for environmental conservation, dedicating 44% of its territory to parks and reserves. It was the first country in the world to include environmental protection in its constitution. And the population, an incredible mix of different ethnicities, Avambo, Herero, Himba, Nama, Damara, Germans, Afrikaners, coexists relatively peacefully. The most unexpected German legacy. Yes, you read that right, Germans. Namibia was a German colony until World War I, and the legacy of that period is everywhere. In Swakopmund, a coastal city that looks transplanted from Bavaria, there are German-style houses, beer halls serving bratwurst and sauerkraut, and elderly white people speaking perfect German. It is surreal to walk in this city and feel like you're in Germany while the Atlantic Ocean crashes its waves just a few feet away, and the desert literally begins on the other side of the road. Windhoek, the capital, has a 1900 German Lutheran church dominating the center. Street names are still half German and half English. This fusion of Africa and Europe creates a unique atmosphere you won't find anywhere else on the continent. The bright future of a gentle giant. Namibia is often called Africa's gentle giant because of its peaceful and welcoming nature. On a continent often plagued by war, poverty, and instability, this country represents what Africa could be. Proud of its identity, open to the world, respectful of the environment, and capable of peaceful coexistence among diverse cultures. Sure, it's not perfect. There is still poverty, especially in rural areas. Youth unemployment is high. The legacy of South African apartheid has left deep inequalities. But the direction is the right one, and visiting Namibia means seeing a different Africa from what the media shows us every day. An Africa of hope, beauty, and infinite possibility. So, what city or country are you watching this video from? Did you know about Namibia before today? Would you like to visit and maybe sleep in a traditional village? Write it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to know what you think. And if this trip made you discover a country you didn't know existed, hit the hype button right next to the like button. It's completely free but helps the channel grow tremendously and bring you incredible new content like this. Thank you so much if you do. It's a small gesture that means a lot to us. And now don't stop here. Click on one of the videos you see on screen to discover more hidden wonders of our planet. See you in the next journey.